Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a quick look once more at XRP. It's performing as expected just based on the overall market right now. It's just really straightforward. We retested this area of roughly $2, held strong in that range, and we've taken off and haven't looked back yet. So this coin is not a coin you want to try to short against at this point, but I do want to remind you that we still haven't broken bullish on our descending trend on the macro. So try not to get too ahead of yourselves. This is not like the best setups possible. The market is kind of pumping and it's a weekend. I don't think that is to be trusted. So just a heads up on that. Good news is we were able to secure some nice profits as a community here. We took 38% from AVAX, 63 from Solana, and 41% from Bitcoin. I'm shifting gears though. I'm considering some shorts on some coins, specifically Solana and Bitcoin, for like some really tight targets before they take off again. So that's just my expectation, is to see some kind of capitulation this weekend based on the simple fact that we've had 13 out of 14 red weekends this year. I know I keep saying that, I'm probably a broken record, but I just like to reiterate and reaffirm the fact that, you know, people will put their blinders on when we have a couple of good days. Okay, so try not to get too ahead of yourself. This is awesome. I love to see it. I really want the price to continue higher. Don't get wrong. But the realism of that still has yet to set in, and I think some folks are just a little too premature on, you know, kind of being either a late long or just in general being overly bullish, and I think it's a little premature. So just my thoughts there. Please hit the like button, folks, before we get started. Comment below what's your position on XRP. Love to hear it. So 220 to 225, we talked about this previously. That's that local area of liquidation to the upside. That's more so established here recently with some late shorts. Majority of local liquidation is swept though. So that really just implies that I think a further continuation lower for this coin, at least until we hit our local high of roughly 2 to 205, makes sense considering the overall circumstances here. We had this bit of a pump, and now we're seeing that little bit of a dump off. Okay. It's really standard, typical, normal price action, especially for this coin. There's always like little fundamental catalysts here and there that just kind of things take off out of nowhere. All the more reason why you want to be very careful shorting this coin. We shorted this coin last month with good success, but the whole market was going down, right? And right now, I still think we're still in a macro descending trend, but we're tentatively breaking bullish on the macro for Bitcoin. I think it's just, we're right on the edge of awesome or just terrible. It's one of those things right now. But it being a weekend, it's very untrustworthy. I do not trust it. Anyways, liquidation delta is still maintaining quite high, roughly about 600 million. That does imply that it's not a good idea to short this coin, but also tells us that a pullback makes sense because we're overextending ourselves once more in that range. All that being said, we got some good support in the $2 range here, just below the price action. We can see 195 more specifically, $2, and then now roughly 210. So those are all support levels that we want to recognize that are likely to hold if we were to come back down to retest those ranges. Either way, from a macro perspective, we're still under all SMAs, but we are starting to break bullish here, sort of. At least I'm referring to Bitcoin. The Bitcoin chart is breaking above 50 in the RSI. It hasn't been above that level since February 2nd. Okay, so we're in a good position for Bitcoin tentatively, and that does translate to this coin as well. Just note that we've had a lot more false positives than other coins with this one. Okay, so all that being said, MACD's converging. Daily time frame looks pretty decent from a momentum standpoint, but we're still below this descending trend line. The overall sense here is that we're still establishing lower highs in the macro. So until we break free from our 250, 240 range here with that point of control, there's really no reason to get too excited. And if you're going to consider taking a long, secure profit somewhere between now and 240, because that's just a really significant amount of resistance there. 4-hour time frame, I'll save you the time. It's pretty bullish. All coins right now are overly bullish. There's no hidden divergences or anything like super special telling us we're going to pull back. The only reason why I feel like we are going to pull back is just because it's a weekend. It's very standard to see retracement lately, but in general, what goes up on a Friday typically comes down on a Saturday or Sunday. And if today is bullish, I'm venturing to guess we're going to see some red tomorrow. I hope it doesn't happen. I love to see this market, but just that's the realism of how the market has been just churning in the last, last 14, 15 weeks of the year. So that's kind of where we're at there. I'll go ahead and post an updated playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, but the truth is here, you're probably better off waiting to take a long if we revisit the 2 to 205 range, and probably not considering a short into that level just because it's too high a risk right now. Cool. All right, folks. Thanks again so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.